am making one more video this week that is not a product review. This is it's a very atypical video for my channel. I don't think I do very many videos like this, and it's not for any particular reason other than that I don't really think I have much else to say on certain subjects, so I therefore just stick to what I feel like I have to offer. But in this case, I wanted to say something because it's something I've actually been noticing a lot lately, and something that I've come to understand and so I've come to realize. Fitness Blender recently did a video this week, I think, about body image and self-esteem and all that kind of thing. And really their rant was against people who do body shaming. And I know a lot of you struggle with your weight and your appearance. And so I felt like there's something that I wanted to kind of get out there, because I don't do very many motivational things, but but this is something I felt like I had something to say on. And I wanted to put my 2 cents out there, kind of in keeping with what Fitness Blender was saying as well, because I wholeheartedly agreed with their video and liked it and favored it and everything else. You know, I can confess that in the past I've been guilty of posting these ads from the old days, from back in the 30s and 40s, that showed a really thin woman and then showed a woman with curves, and kind of how it was interesting how society has moved away from accepting and loving curves into wanting women to be thinner and more fit and more muscular. And I kind of posted it as just a funny realization. But those posts always get a lot of response, and a lot of it is because people feel as though they are being told that they need to be curvier in order to fit into vintage styles. I also have posted comments in the past about models being too skinny and how I wish they'd put on some weight. And I'm not going to lie and say that I don't think that there are certain body types that I prefer to see in swimwear and that I prefer to see in clothing. I have a very, very specific idea. To me, I mean, the way Jane Fonda looked, her body, especially at the beginning of Barbarella, that was to me just like the perfect body. And I wanted to look, that was my goal, was to kind of get as close to that as possible. You know, is a little softness there, a little toned. But I've come to realize that when I post things about what my ideal body type is, it automatically pushes a certain type of person away. Whether that person is extremely thin and just can't gain a lot of curves and weight, or whether that person is larger and cannot seem to get down to the size they want to get to. And I don't want anyone to think that I am the kind of person that immediately puts out a vibe that I feel like there's one ideal. Because there's this ugly trend that I have seen lately, and before I say this, I'm just going to say that I personally plan to make a lot of changes in really thinking about what I post when it comes to what my ideal is, whether it's body, hair, anything, because it is a way of alienating a lot of you, and I would never want to do that. And a few people did kind of call me out on a post at one point. This was back in 2010, I believe, when I specifically said something about the models in the Victoria's Secret fashion show were too thin. In the 90s especially, really, really waifishly thin models were extremely in fashion. And we started to trend more towards embracing curves later on in the late 90s and early 2000s. And because of that, a lot of people felt like that was, you know, such a positive thing, because it was really, really calling more attention to curves. And the problem with that is that it's going to end up still alienating those people who are naturally thin that can't get curvy. So there is this ugly trend right now towards, especially using social media, there's this ugly trend towards putting out this vibe that there are certain body types that are ideal. And in a very basic way, you're not it. You need to get like this. And it's a trend kind of away from embracing who you are and the changes in your body and the changes that you've made. Whether it's weight loss, whether it's weight gain, especially weight gain having to do with having children, whether your body is not as perky as it used to be, or your face is not as smooth as it used to be. There's just a really, really large trend towards getting away from accepting that. And I personally want to try to get the message out there for people who, you know, so that people know where I'm coming from. I want to make sure that you all understand that instead of constantly trying to change yourself, that you are trying to accept the changes that are naturally coming. Because if you really think about it, most of those changes involve really wonderful, really great experiences. So why would you not embrace the physical aspects of what those changes have brought? When it comes to goals, the media has all of these lies that they're like throwing in your face, and most of this is on, you can see it the second you turn on an infomercial. There's these before and after photos of these people, and if you really look at these photos, sometimes it's not even the same person. There is no head in these shots, so they can Photoshop anything and make anything look as though it's a photo of a before and after just by putting somebody in the same clothes. Sometimes the person's just wearing smaller clothes that don't fit them in the first picture. It may not be the same person, but also if it is the same person, they're probably not that much smaller in the after picture. They're just wearing smaller, badly fitting clothes in the before picture. This is a big deal. It's outright lying. And all of you have seen it. I know you see it all the time. There's all these like shameful fitspiration posts on Instagram talking about, you know, this is what you're going to look like if you don't do squats. I mean, I saw something recently that said that. It was ridiculous. And that is so disturbing to me because it's going to put unrealistic goals out there. So I think if you're going to make goals, your goals should be realistic. You should be very, very aware of the lies and the targeting that the media does, especially using social networking, is mean to focus on the things about people that they may never be able to change instead of teaching them to accept what they already have. So yes, you should get healthy. You should try to get healthy. I'm trying to get healthy. And I think that that's important, you know, whether it's changing your diet, making sure that you start being active, things like that. All of that's really important. But your goals should be realistic. Don't look at photos. Don't set this ideal, this unreachable ideal for yourself that might never happen. There are certain body types that I love and curves that I wish I could have. I will never have those things. But also buying clothes that fit. It's so important to buy clothes that fit. Do not stay in your big, huge, baggy clothes because you're planning to reach a certain weight. Because if you're dressing yourself beautifully, no matter what your shape, no matter what your size, no matter what your goal, then you're going to automatically have more motivation. You're going to like what you see in the mirror, and it's going to make you have even more motivation to reach that goal. I hate to think that there's anybody out there that's continually giving up on a fitness routine or on a diet, and by diet I don't mean weight loss diet, I mean healthy eating. I would hate to see that anybody would just give up on those things because they're not getting to their goal fast enough, because you may never reach that goal, but you will still be at your best, and there's nothing bad in that. So okay, I've been talking a long time, but there was a few things I wanted to say. That post by Fitness Blender really impacted me, and I felt like there was some things that I wanted to add. But speaking of Fitness Blender, I've been doing a whole lot of their videos lately, and I love them. They're so easily accessible, and they're free. So if you are not subscribed to Fitness Blender here on YouTube, please check them out. I think that they have so much great stuff to offer because they've got extremely difficult routines, and then they've got really, really easy beginner routines. They've got things that are 10 minutes long, they've got things that are an hour and 10 minutes long. So there is something for everybody on that channel. And I am only really doing my workout videos now once a week because I'm really enjoying Fitness Blender. So I do want to make sure and give them a thumbs up and alert you to them if you don't already know about them, which I'm sure you probably do, because they've got many, many followers. But that's all I have to say today. I've done a lot of talking, but just wanted to get that said. And I hope that all of you that stuck around, you know, I hope it helped some of you. And if you have anything you'd like to add, if you'd have anything you would like to say and by way of encouragement to other people who might be going through you know, distress when it comes to trying to reach a goal, or, you know, not being pleased with how they look or anything. I hope that if you have something to share that you also share it in the comments, because believe it or not, people do read your comment. I read your comment, and the other people who look at the video read your comments, so it's definitely worth it to share if you have something to say. And if you want to alert me to your channel, if it's fitness related or goal related, I would also really like to hear about it. So that's all I'm going to say on that.